It's Tuesday, July 26th. Stop me if you've heard this before, but a virus is starting to look pretty concerning. We start here. From the World Health Organization to the White House, alarm bells are sounding about monkeypox.
It really felt like someone took a match and was setting fire to my skin at some points.
We'll talk to someone who's tested positive and who's still experiencing symptoms. The Pope offers Indigenous Canadians an apology.
We want to see some action behind this trip.
But after generations of horrors at residential schools, is it enough? And Democrats want to do what they couldn't do for abortion rights.
This is not an easy vote for Republicans. You can really see a number of them struggling with this.
In the halls of the Capitol, senators are racing to enshrine gay marriage as a law. From ABC News, this is Start Here. I'm Brad Milkey. When it comes to his COVID diagnosis, President Biden says he feels much better. The White House says most of his symptoms have subsided. But when Dr. Ashish Jha took the podium at the White House yesterday, he didn't start by talking about the coronavirus. He was talking about a different disease entirely.
The international community must work together to protect individuals that have been impacted by monkeypox and those most at risk of contracting the virus.
Monkeypox is now firmly on the radar of many American health officials. The World Health Organization has now declared it a global health emergency. But faster than the spread of knowledge has been the spread of the virus itself. Cases in the U.S. now number in the thousands. They only took 5 days to double in New York City. Generally, positive cases have been among men having sex with men, but there are now women among the infected and a few children as well.
We've got to learn our lesson, not just from this pandemic, but from the HIV pandemic as well.
So yesterday, I called up Andy Slavitt. He used to handle COVID policy for the Biden White House. He's now the host of the podcast In the Bubble.
And I think it would be wrong to assume that we're going to contain this by telling people to have less sex. I don't think that's going to work.
He's the first to say this is not COVID in terms of scope or sickness, but he is concerned that it's quickly being dismissed as a so-called gay disease. First off, he said it's spread by skin-to-skin contact, does not matter whose skin it is. Secondly, limiting your conception of who can get it often leads to unfair discrimination. We saw this during the spread of HIV. And thirdly, he says, by siloing people off, by saying, oh, it's happening to those people over there, well, that usually has one outcome, an endemic disease that everyone's getting.
In those bodies where we're talking about the next pandemic, we are failing to understand that this is the next pandemic.
And so this morning, we're talking to someone who's contracted monkeypox recently and who has emerged by warning everyone he can about it. Jonathan Arujo lives in Miami, Florida. Jonathan, thanks for being with us. First off, how are you feeling right now?
Right now, I'm way better. I did like a full 360 versus I was really having a really tough time battling monkeypox in the beginning. It was really like mentally taxing just as much as physically. Like it was really something I've never really experienced something before, going through like the stages of it where I was getting all these like bumps. I was in a lot of pain. They were kind of all just like open wounds at one point. And I had so many of them, I had at least 30 of them on me at one time.
Yeah. Can you walk me through what it was like? Like, do you know when you got it?
So July 4th, I was working normal. Everything was fine. And I was going out partying with my friends, celebrating July the 4th weekend. And I went out to this club, which is where I believe I got it. Just something, the little hairs in the back of my neck is just something telling me that night something was not right. I was sick the very next day. I got like a fever. And then I had the fever for like 2 days. And then I got chills. And then the chills on the 3rd day went away. And then by the 4th day, I was breaking out on my forehead and on like my back really bad. And I had all these little like pimples. That's what they look like to me. They were like very small little pimples at first. The 5th day, which was now July 7th or July 8th, I had one on my lip.
Like it's spreading.
Yeah, I'm not just breaking out. I'm not just sick with a random fever for 2 days. And then now I have chills and now I have headaches and body pains. Like it didn't make sense, and I knew something was wrong. So I went to the clinic and I thought, okay, maybe I have like an STD or maybe, something's wrong. And so I went to the clinic, and when I went to go get tested or treated, the doctor immediately looked at me and he was like, I don't think you have an STD. I'm not saying you don't have any, but he's like, by looking at you, I think you have monkeypox. And I was just like, what? I was like, monkeypox? I was like, are you sure?
Had you heard of it before? Did you know what that was at that point?
I was very ignorant to the situation. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think much of it. I didn't think that I would get it. And I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I've heard of it and knew what it was and it was, going around, but I was just it won't happen to me. Yeah. And yeah, boom, it sure did happen to me. And the lesions and the sores, they weren't huge. They got really big and they progressed rapidly. They turned into these big, zits almost, but you couldn't pop them. They wouldn't burst. Even if I tried to squeeze them. And then they would sting randomly. They would feel like jolts of pain. They would be dull for the most part, but then out of nowhere, I would get a strike in one of them or in some of them. And then they would burn or itch if I messed with them or if I touched them or if I laid the wrong way. It really felt like someone took a match and was setting fire to my skin at some points.
Wow. If
they were in spots, I had some in my elbows. So every time I moved my arm, it would burn or it would itch. The one I have on my hand currently itches a lot.
You have one right now that's still itching you.
Yeah. It's on the palm of my hand. So it's it flexes and it's constantly being touched by something so it's just in a very inconvenient spot.
Does the pain continue on for days, for weeks? What's the treat? How does that progress? Do you feel like you're sort of past the worst of the symptoms, it sounds like?
Yeah, I'm definitely past the worst of the symptoms. In the beginning, the pain was on a 1 to 10, it was at an 8 or 9 half the time.
Wow.
After I left the clinic, I went to the emergency room because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have a PCP. And so I went to the emergency room and then I told them, I was I think I have monkeypox. And when they looked at me, they were in shock that I had monkeypox. They didn't even know.
Well, you're the first guy they've been dealing with to say this.
Yeah. They were you think you have monkeypox? And she pulled out this paper and she was looking at the paper and then looking at me. And when I looked over the desk to see what she was looking at pictures of what monkeypox looked like to see if it matched because she didn't know. And so they put me into an emergency room, I think within maybe 10 minutes. That is the fastest I've ever been put into an emergency room ever.
Yeah, and if that's the reaction from doctors, Jonathan, it also makes me wonder, what has been the reaction from just other people in your life around you?
A lot of people were very surprised. They were this is real. It was a shock. It was a reality check to a lot of people. Even a lot of people in my family, they were you have what? They're I even had some people be what is that? They were I didn't even know this was a thing until, and I don't want to, segregate groups, but it was predominantly straight people or, heterosexuals that didn't know what monkeypox was. And I hate that it was that way because it was anyone can get this.
Which is concerning, right? If you got people treating this like an STD and referring to it as an STD as if it's passed to people in sexual situations, because it's not necessarily that.
No, absolutely not. I didn't get it from having sex. I got it from going out and partying and doing normal day-to-day things. Just to even further that I didn't get it from having sex, I got all my test results back with all my other STDs and I came back negative for everything. I didn't have sex for maybe a month or 3 weeks, almost a month before I got sick. So I definitely didn't get it from having sex. I'm sure it's possible that you can get it from having sex, but that is not the only way to get it. And that's where the stigma lies, is that people think it's just an STD. No, you can get it just by, if you touch one of my sores and then touch your face, it passes just like that because of the infection, depending on where I have the sore. So the one I have on my hand, you will touch it and I'll touch your face and it's over.
Really alarming when you see not just how quickly it's spreading, but that it's spreading kind of faster than people are being educated about it, which is why you're shouting from the rooftops. We should note, though, no American deaths from monkeypox yet. Jonathan, thank you so much for sharing your experience.
No, yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
Next up on Start here, popes don't apologize for much, let alone apologize for 7 days straight. We go to Canada after the break.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
It was an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
Now streaming on ABC News Live 2020. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime 2020. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
National parks are incredibly safe places, but crime will happen.
Hey, Mom. My wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
Seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know,
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it? Feel smarter.
feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live. It's all about you.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
America's #1 news, ABC News. Most watched, most trusted, and streaming live to you anytime, anywhere, and free. This is ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news, free to you 24/7. Watch America's #1 news whenever you want it, wherever you are, anytime. ABC News Live, streaming live and free on all platforms. Right now, with so much at stake, Sunday mornings, this is the place. Taking on all the tough questions, straightforward reporting, no spin, no hype, no bull. Thank you for making ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos the #1 Sunday morning news show versus the competition.
Welcome to This Week.
It's hard to overstate how much recent revelations about Indigenous children in Catholic boarding schools over the years have absolutely rocked the country of Canada. Remember, this is a country where nearly 4 out of 10 people are Catholic, and in which Indigenous people make up a significant chunk of the population. And so for years, if you grew up on tribal land, you might be sent to one of these so-called residential schools, a place that was said to assimilate you with European settlers, but in practice often resulted in much darker stories.
If the parents didn't want to allow their children to go to boarding school, one of them had to go to jail.
I got tortured, I got beaten up, and you name it.
Throw me against the blackboard, and the blood was squirting.
And the first thing we did to us is we had beautiful long hair, and they cut my hair off.
When people began uncovering grave sites at these schools with untold numbers of Native children buried in them, it confirmed some of Canadians' deepest suspicions about Catholic leadership, which is why yesterday, Pope Francis himself was in Canada to deliver an apology. ABC's Marcus Moore is there in Edmonton, where Francis began this tour. And Marcus, the Pope was very clear. This is an apology tour. This is for us to take responsibility. What made it so necessary for him to acknowledge this in person?
Well, Brad, this was something that a lot of people here in Canada, Indigenous people, wanted.
But when I found out he was actually coming, that's when I had a little anxiety. I had a little bit, just shed a few tears, and that's just something that was sitting inside of me. So part of healing for me is forgiveness.
There have been apologies in the past, including the Pope himself back in April, apologizing for these residential schools, but they wanted it to happen on their soil. I would say generally it was a somber mood. It was about 2,000 people.
And this will be all about healing. And the drum is a big part of the healing. It's the heartbeat of Mother Earth. The drum is life.
There were moments where all of the chiefs were lining up from the various nations. People were jovial during those moments in the lead up.
Let's hear your war call in celebration. Sagawag! Sagawag!
But the overall mood was one of sadness for the thousands who lost their lives, who were forcibly removed from their communities.
Your Holiness, Pansy Wapikihu, White Eagle, it's a great honor to welcome you among us.
So the fact that he was here on this apology tour, that's significant, and that is exactly what so many people have wanted for so long.
Yeah, and what was that step? I guess I'm wondering how you apologize for upwards of 1,000 children's bodies. Like, what did he say?
When the Pope apologized for the church's role in these residential schools, there were moments where he paused and people were applauding.
Me encuentro entre ustedes.
I am here because the first step of my penitential pilgrimage among you is that of again asking forgiveness, of telling you once more that I am deeply sorry. Sorry.
He said he's sorry for the ways in which, regrettably, many Christians supported the colonizing mentality of the powers that oppressed the indigenous peoples.
An important part of this process will be to conduct a serious investigation into the facts of what took place in the past and to assist the survivors of the residential schools to experience healing from the traumas they suffered.
There are some who have welcomed this apology and the Pope's visit here, but there are others that this apology is not enough, and there's no way that it could be.
We want to see some action behind this trip. There's work that has to happen afterwards.
I talked to Chief Tony Alexis, and he is with the Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation, and he's actually met with the Pope previously and expressed, number one, his desire for the Pope and for the church to apologize, but for the Pope to come to Canada and make that apology. But even he says the apology is not enough.
It cannot be just a photo op. It cannot be just, I'm sorry, and it's a nice photo op for the world to see.
They, number one, don't have any trust in the church for what has been done, or the government, and that they want action.
These apologies that is happening, it is important for it to happen as part of all this growth and for the ones who are struggling. But we are already making that decision that we are healing. We've already made that decision. We're going to celebrate our culture, and we've already made that decision. We're going to enjoy this land like we once did.
And something that really stood out to me, Brad, is that there are people who survive these residential schools and who are Catholic. They are practicing Catholics today, despite this horrific history, and hold true to their values and their belief in a higher power, despite it all.
You can really tell this was the Vatican on urgent damage control. Like, you don't do a 7-day trip like this when the Pope has serious health issues. He's got a very bad knee. He's in a wheelchair. You don't do all that just to endear yourself over like a quick apology. You do it because you're worried that perhaps members of your own church might leave, which makes you wonder if the Catholic Church right now is worried about permanent damage from all this with Canadian Catholics. We should also add there are ongoing efforts by both the tribes and the Canadian government to recover and identify some of those bodies. Marcus Moore in Edmonton, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.
It's now been about a month since Roe v. Wade was overturned, and a lot has happened since then. In 13 states, abortion is further restricted or even flat out illegal. More states are on the way. On Wednesday, Wyoming joins the list. On Thursday, North Dakota enacts its trigger ban. And in that abortion decision, Justice Clarence Thomas added more fuel to the fire. He suggested there are actually other precedents out there that need to be overturned by this court, including a fundamental right to same-sex marriage. So right now in Washington, Democrats are hustling to do something they never accomplished on abortion.
All married people who are building their lives together must know that the government will respect and recognize their marriages for all time.
A nationwide law legalizing same-sex marriage that would be harder for the Supreme Court to dismiss. But do Democrats even have the numbers to do it? ABC's Trish Turner oversees our Capitol Hill coverage. In fact, she's in the Senate right now. Trish, we saw the House vote to codify gay marriage. It actually got quite a bit of Republican support, right? Could the Senate be next?
The House vote actually shocked everyone here, including leadership. They had no clue they were going to get 47 Republicans, but it tells you how far the country, even the lawmakers, when they seem so far behind to so many people, they're catching up with the times. There's more of it in their families. You know, they're experiencing this on a deeply personal level. So just like Liz Cheney, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, so she had a huge break with her sister who is gay. She is very supportive of this. Liz Cheney for years would not support this, and she said, you know what, love is love, marriage is marriage, and she supported it.
I was wrong. I was wrong. I love my sister very much. I love her family very much, and I was wrong.
The leadership here, they've tasked a senator here. She was the first openly gay senator here, Senator Tammy Baldwin, and she's been tasked with whipping support for this. So remains to be seen if she's going to get at least 10 Republicans. That's what it's going to require. But she is pretty hopeful. I understand from several Senate sources that she seems to have made contact with roughly a dozen Senate Republicans. So we'll see where this goes. It seems to be leaning in the direction of passage. Wow. But we'll see.
Yeah, what is the conversation like in Republican circles on this, as far as whether to cross the aisle on a same-sex marriage bill?
Yeah, Brad, that is a great question, because on abortion, as Democrats have been bringing up these votes on abortion, that's easier for them, right? It's an easy, let the states decide. But this is much more deeply personal for some of them. This isn't so cut and dry. There are a number of them. Senator Lindsey Graham just yesterday, he came out and said, look, I don't agree that, this is going to be, coming before the court, that the court would overturn this precedent. But you know what? It really is a states' rights issue. That's what I felt about abortion anyway. This all should be in the hands of the state. So that seems to be the off-ramp, the political off-ramp that Republicans are taking more and more. But this is not an easy vote for Republicans. You can really see a number of them struggling with this.
This bill is not only unnecessary, it's more of the same. It's yet another effort to delegitimize the Supreme Court.
In looking at the House vote, it's really pretty fascinating. The entire Utah delegation, all Republicans, all voted for the bill. So they're looking at someone like Mitt Romney and wondering, could they potentially get him? So it's sort of senators from all walks of life on the Republican side of the aisle who the Democrats think they might just have. They might have a chance of getting them.
That's fascinating, Trish, when you think about the religious right. Yeah, Mitt Romney would certainly be considered a part of that.
Yes.
What about, I'm just wondering about the numbers game too. If you got to get 10 Republicans, that's in addition to 50 Democrats, right? Assuming they all vote for this. Do they have all these votes on the Democratic side? And can you get everyone in the Senate to vote for it? It sounds like everyone's getting COVID. President Biden says he's okay, but you got other members of the Senate who are testing positive all of a sudden.
I was going to say they probably could get all of the Democrats, but they can't all stay well with this new strain of COVID. We currently have Senator Manchin just yesterday announced he tested positive. Senator Schumer himself has just come back from, having a positive test. They only have 2 weeks before the month-long August recess. They don't want this issue hanging out their way. They want to do this before they leave. But you know what? Mother Nature is having an effect here. COVID is having an effect. So, we'll see. But, you're also getting a lot of this like behind the scenes. We think there are Republicans who are saying, yes, I'm going to be with you. That's totally off the record. I'm only going to take this difficult vote once, but I don't want anything hanging out there publicly, so I have to talk about this for a long time. So there might be Republicans who are hiding, that don't want to say right now that they're for it. So, but yeah, I think, if they can stay well, Democrats should pull together. But I think that, Democrats are trying to get maybe 11 or 12 Republicans just in case.
All right, Trish Turner at the Capitol. Really helpful. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Brad.
And one last thing. Respect the robots or else.
Let's rock.
Recently in Russia, there was this big chess tournament called the Moscow Open. As part of the tournament, children got to play against this really powerful chess robot. It's not just a computer. Picture a big mechanical arm sitting across a table from you with a claw that can actually reach down and move the pieces.
The claw, it moves.
Well, this 7-year-old boy, one of the best in the country, is playing against the robot, and he gets excited, like a 7-year-old would. As the robot captures one of his pieces, the boy takes another piece, moves it to the same square. Well, the robot apparently did not like this gambit, because the next thing you know, the robot has reached down, it's grabbed the boy's finger, and it's not letting go. People rush over, parents are called, and after a few seconds, the robot mercifully releases him. But it left him with a broken finger. The parents are getting prosecutors involved. An official from the Russian Chess Federation placed all the blame on the child, saying the kid violated the rules that say you have to wait for the move to be completed. He said, this is a quote, apparently children need to be warned. It happens, end quote. The boy was able to play the next day, though he did need help writing down his moves because, oh yeah, he had a broken finger. But the bigger question is how worried humans should be around robots. They do what they've been programmed to do, and if they haven't been trained to avoid humans, they're not going to. Luckily, this did not appear to be a case of a robot holding a grudge, because if that's what's coming next, checkmate. If you're really trying to freak out the robot, you should just start switching pieces on the board. This was like a rook-y move. Hey, if you've not checked out Start Here on a smart speaker, remember, we are very compatible with that technology, and no claws come after you. I'm Brad Milkey. See you tomorrow.
America's #1 news, ABC.